3 months ago, the grocery store was quiet, the sterile hum of fluorescent lights filling the space as Veronica scanned the nearly empty aisles. She was still in her scrubs, her body aching from the 12-hour shift she had just worked. But exhaustion wasn't the only thing weighing her down. She was thinking about Oliver, her ex-husband. The thought still felt foreign, even though 2 years had passed since the divorce. Some part of her still felt tethered to him, still tangled in the memories of what they had been. 10 years of marriage, countless late-night talks, hands clasped together in waiting rooms holding their breath after another pregnancy test. And then, always, the heartbreak. It had been too much for them, losing pregnancy after pregnancy, watching their dreams slip away before they ever had a chance to take shape. And then, Oliver's mother had passed. Something inside him had cracked. His grief had turned into something restless, something unreachable. He had pulled away, shut her out, changed. And yet, despite everything, she still loved him. She just didn't know how to let him go. Veronica exhaled slowly, pushing the thought from her mind as she reached for a bag of apples. "Are they any good?" The voice came from behind her, smooth and casual. She turned, finding a man holding up a Honeycrisp apple with a curious look, his lips tugged into a lazy smirk. He was handsome, confident in the kind of way that made everything feel effortless. She raised an eyebrow. "You've never had a Honeycrisp?" He grinned. "I don't really do apples." "Then why are you in the apple section?" He leaned slightly on his cart, smirking. "Looking for recommendations. Figured someone in scrubs probably makes good choices." Veronica let out a quiet huff of amusement before grabbing an apple and placing it in his hand. "This is the one." His fingers brushed against hers, lingering just a second longer than necessary. "Guess I have to trust you then." There was something familiar about this exchange, something that almost felt like an old rhythm she had long forgotten. She wasn't blind. She knew this was flirting, and yet, instead of feeling flattered, she felt distant. Like she was watching herself from the outside, playing a role she wasn't sure she wanted. Because at the end of the day, she wasn't some woman wanting to be swept off her feet. She was a woman still in love with the man that she had lost. "So," he said, tucking the apple into his cart. "How about this? I'll let you know if your recommendation is any good. Let's say, over coffee?" Veronica exhaled. "Tempting. But I just worked 12 hours straight, and I don't do coffee with strangers." His smirk didn't fade. "Then I guess I have to stop being a stranger then." She almost laughed. He was smooth. She had to give him that, but she wasn't interested. "Have a good night, Honeycrisp." She turned without looking back. She never even asked his name.